Hello, 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 everyone, and happy Saturday. It is Pam Esquire, also known as your law intellect. Listen, your girl has been busy, busy, busy. But I'm glad that you guys are here to hang out with me, and welcome to those that are catching the replay. Hey, Alice, how are you? How are you? Ooh, I'm gonna get down here. Hey, Ray. Oh, Ray done beat everybody today. Hey, CBBJ, St. James. Good evening, good evening. Good evening, Styles by Stevie. Hey, Coco, JB, Tay Tay, hey. Miss V, I see you. Poetic Mouth, I see you. Miss Renee, hey. To all my Detroit fam, what up, though? Because that's how we affectionately greet each other. How's everybody doing this Saturday? Hey, Miss Sandra. Hopefully, we don't have too many technical difficulties. If we do, ooh, let me plug this laptop up before we end up blanking out here. We got a few things to discuss on this Saturday. Hey, Amy. Kathy, what's up? Hello to everyone. Hello. So, we're going to pick up with what we left off on last week. We'll give it a couple of minutes for people to come in so I don't have to repeat myself. I hope everybody is enjoying this good Saturday. Today is my baby girl. She's 4 years old. Today is her birthday. So we just got back from Legoland and Peppa Pig and all that good stuff that I'm not used to because all of my kids are actually pretty much grown. So I have a 27-year-old, I have a 21-year-old, and then I have a 16-year-old, and then I have my baby girl that's 4. Thank you. I'm glad you love the platform. You wanna rent St. James? Okay, I gotta figure that out. Yes, don't forget to hit that good like and share. The last time we were here, we talked about Paul Pelosi. Remember, he is the husband of Nancy Pelosi that was brutally attacked. He has federal charges currently pending against him in state and federal court. We have the criminal complaint for the federal court, where it's some very interesting facts in there. So we read the article last time. Thank you. I don't look like I have a 27-year. Honey, yeah, I have my 4-year-old in my 40s. I don't know, it just happened. Yes, my son is 27. He actually just had a baby too, so in theory, I'm a grandma. No, in real life, I am a grandma. I have a 1-year-old. He'll be one. My grandbaby will be one next week. I told my 27-year-old when I actually had another baby, I'm like, now you gotta wait to have another baby, have a baby. I know you old enough, but I want you to wait a little bit longer because then it's gonna look ghetto because the auntie gonna be like 3 years older than the baby. But it happened anyway. He didn't listen to me and had a baby anyway. So thank you. Y'all gassing me up today. Thank you so much. Yeah, honey, grandma Pam. I got a little 1-year-old grandson. That's I do. And my sister is 40. She just had a baby too. So we just do that. I don't know. We just have babies, I guess, till we can't anymore. You said you have an uncle that's 1 year. Yeah, my oldest, I have a little sister that's 3 days. She's 3 days older than my oldest. So yeah, me and my stepmom were in the hospital at the same time. It's quite interesting. Your youngest grandbaby will be 1 next month. The oldest is 18. Oh, wow. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. You'll notice though, like when you get older though, I have like my kids to say, you have way more patience. It's not that I'm just tired. Now I don't do all the running around and fussing. I just look like, yeah, she just got in all the flour and put it all over the kitchen. I'll clean it up tomorrow. I just don't even have the energy anymore. She gets she gets the chill parent. Like, "What do you want? You want balloons for your birthday? Let's just go get 100 balloons. You wanna go to Legoland? Okay. You want cake instead of dinner today? Okay, eat cake all day. I don't care." Oh, Kathy says she's 2 months older than her niece. Oh, wow. Yeah, we do that. I don't know why we do that. I wasn't planning it, though. It just God had a different plan for me, obviously. That is true. That is true. You can send the grandbabies home. My grandbaby is actually in, Louisiana. Yes. Yeah, girl, cake instead of dinner. Her dad was like, "She gotta eat dinner today." I'm like, "Just let her keep eating cupcakes. I mean, that'll make her happy. She won't even whine or anything." That's just where I'm at now in life. I'm like, "Psh, don't sweat the small stuff. It's fine. We'll brush her teeth really good." She goes to the dentist. I mean, dang, give her the cake. Hi, LaFrance. Hi, LaFrance. Okay, so we're like 7 minutes in. So let's get into because then I'm gonna get comments of I hate when the commentators decide they want to talk about their life before they get into it. I'm like, whatever. Hey Val. Okay, for real. I'm gonna get into it. So we have the criminal complaint that was filed, and this is the United States of America. Can you imagine having a criminal complaint and like it's the whole world against you? Like well, I guess not the world, but the whole United States, like millions of people against you. I always was like, man, how would I feel about that? I don't know how I would feel. So, anyways, let me go back here. Okay. So this was filed on the 28th. So we had the agent that filed this, and this is about Paul Pelosi. So let's do the introduction. I make this affidavit in support of an application under Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure 3 and 4 for a criminal complaint and arrest warrant for David Wayne DePape. For the reasons set forth below, I submit that there is probable cause to believe that DePape violated the following title 18 USC sections 115 sub A1 and capital A by assaulting Paul Pelosi, an immediate family member of a United States official, to wit, Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the United States House Representatives, with intent to retaliate against such official on account of performance of official duties and Title 18 USC Section 1201D by attempting to seize or kidnap a United States official, to wit, Nancy Pelosi. Thank you so much, Ms. Renee, for the cash app. The Speaker of the United States House of Representatives. In summary, and is set out in more detail below, the facts of the investigation to date reveal that DePape was prepared to detain and injure Speaker Pelosi when he entered the Pelosi residence in the early mornings of October 28th of 2022. DePape has zip ties, tape, rope, and at least one hammer with him that morning. The evidence further shows that DePape assaulted Mr. Pelosi with DePape's own hammer. So this was her affidavit she sent so that she can get a warrant for the arrest and the criminal complaint. So let's go like to the actual facts because this is what we got from an article last time, but we want to get it specifically from the agent that requested this arrest warrant. So on October 28th of 2022 at 2:23 a.m., San Francisco dispatch received a 911 call from Paul Pelosi, located at the Pelosi residence in San Francisco, California. Pelosi stated words to the effect of there is a male in the home and that the male is going to wait for Pelosi's wife. Pelosi further conveyed that he does not know who the male is. The male and his name is David. So dude came in there and introduced himself. You break in someone's home and then say, "Hi, my name is David. What's your name?" This is like absurd. At 2:31 a.m., San Francisco Police Department Officer Kobe Williams responded to the Pelosi residence California, and knocked on the front door. When the door was open, Pelosi and DePape were both holding a hammer with one hand, and DePape had his other hand holding onto Pelosi's forearm. Pelosi greeted the officers. The officers asked him what was going on. DePape responded that everything was good. Officers then asked Pelosi and DePape to drop the hammer. So DePape pulled the hammer from Pelosi's hand and swung it at him. So the police come in, they say, tell you both to like drop the hammer. So it sounds like Pelosi might have complied. And this guy like, nah, you gonna drop it, I'm about to pull this hammer and hit you with it. So that's how he ended up getting hit in the head, is what it sounds like. So he swung the hammer, striking Pelosi in the head. Officers immediately went inside and were able to restrain the Pape. While officers were restraining the Pape, Pelosi appeared to be unconscious and on the ground. So he hit him until he was unconscious and on the ground. Officers removed a cell phone, cash, clipper cards, and an unidentified card from the Pape's right short pocket. The Pape provided officers his first and last name. So he just introduced himself to everybody. After officers asked the Pape if he had an ID on him, the Pape said it might be in his backpack on the back porch, and later stated his backpack was near the broken glass. When officers removed the Pape from Pelosi's residence, police body-worn camera footage showed a glass door that appeared to be laminated glass broken near the door handle. San Francisco Police Department recovered zip ties in Pelosi's bedroom and in the hallway near the front door of the Pelosi residence. In addition, law enforcement searched the Pape's backpack at Pelosi's residence, and they found, among other things, a roll of tape, white rope, one hammer, and one pair of rubber and cloth gloves, and a journal. So the SFPD officer Kobe Wims was able to interview a witness. The witness one who saw an individual in all black carrying a large black bag on his back walking near the Pelosi residence where witness one was parked. Witness one was working private security at an address nearby. So nearby, you have somebody that has some private security, but they didn't have any security at their home. Witness one then heard what sounded like a banging on either a door or car and then heard the sirens within a minute or two. Pelosi was interviewed by SFPD officer Ariane Starks in the ambulance during transport to San Francisco General Hospital. Pelosi stated he had never seen DePape before. Pelosi was asleep when DePape came into Pelosi's bedroom and stated he wanted to talk to Nancy. When Pelosi told him that Nancy was not there, DePape stated that he would sit and wait. Like, I want to talk to your wife. Oh, she's not here. I'll sit here and wait for her to come home. What? Pelosi stated that his wife would not be home for several days, and then DePape reiterated that he would wait. Pelosi was able to go into the bathroom, which is when he was able to call 911. Pelosi stated that when the officers arrived, that's when DePape struck him with the hammer. So he didn't even touch, DePape didn't even touch Pelosi until the officers got there. So he basically got harmed once the officers showed up. In subsequent interview with law enforcement officers on October 30th, 2022, Paul Pelosi stated that DePape had a hammer with him during the events described above at the Pelosi residence. Further, the hammer did not belong to the Pelosi family. Nothing. That's what I'm saying. No dogs, no nothing. Like no kind of security. Well, what I heard was that they had security cameras. And they okay, so when Nancy Pelosi is at the house, not only do they have actual people, but they have cameras, and cameras are being watched 24 hours a day. But once she's not there, the cameras are rolling, but they don't really watch it when she's not there. Which is absurd to me, because wouldn't you, if you're trying to comfort someone, the closest thing if you can't get to them is typically your spouse or your children? That just doesn't make sense to me. In a subsequent interview with law enforcement officers on October 30th, 2022, Paul Pelosi stated that DePape had a hammer with him during the events described above at the Pelosi residence. Further, the hammer did not belong to the family. You read that. So this is the interview that they had. So DePape has actually, according to this document, talked to the police already. So he was Mirandized. So he was told you have the right to remain silent, and he still chose to talk. So it says in a Mirandized and recorded interview of DePape by San Francisco Police Department officers, DePape provided the following information. DePape stated that he was going to hold Nancy hostage and talk to her. If Nancy was to tell DePape the quote truth, he would let her go. And if she quote lied, he is going to break her kneecaps. DePape was certain that Nancy would not have told the truth in the course of the interview. DePape articulated he viewed Nancy as the quote leader of the pack, end quote, of lies told by the Democratic Party. DePape also later explained that by breaking Nancy's kneecaps, she would then have to be wheeled into Congress, which would show other members of Congress there were consequences to action. DePape also explained generally that he wanted to use Nancy to lure another individual to DePape. So Nancy wasn't only targeted with somebody else. I was scared. DePape stated that he broke into the house through a glass door, which was a difficult task that required the use of a hammer. DePape stated that Pelosi was in bed and appeared surprised by DePape. You think that he was surprised? Some stranger coming into his house while you're in the bed at 82 years old, and you wake up and they looking over you talking about where's your wife. The Pepe told Pelosi to wake up. The Pepe told Pelosi that he was looking for Nancy. Pelosi responded that she was not present. Pelosi asked how they could resolve the situation and what the Pepe wanted to do. The Pepe said he wanted to tie Pelosi up so that the Pepe could go to sleep as he was tired from having had to carry a backpack to the Pelosi residence. So he said I'm not gonna hurt you, Paul. I'm just gonna tie you up so that you can't go anywhere, and then I'm gonna take a nap because it's very exhausting putting all this equipment in a backpack and then coming to your home and breaking in. That took a lot of energy from you. So I just want to make sure you don't go anywhere. So I'm just gonna tie you up and I'm gonna take a nap. What is wrong with people? Around this time, according to DePape started taking out twist ties from his pocket so that he could restrain Pelosi. Pelosi moved towards another part of the house, but DePape stopped him, and together they went back into the bed. While talking with each other, Pelosi went into a bathroom where Pelosi grabbed a phone to call 911. DePape stated he felt like Pelosi's actions compelled him to respond. So basically, because Pelosi called 911, you felt like now you had to do something to him. Zepepe remembered thinking that there was no way the police would want to forget about the phone call. Zepepe explained that he did not leave after Pelosi called to 911 because, much like the American founding fathers with the British, he was fighting against tyranny without the option of surrender. Zepepe reiterated this sentiment elsewhere in the interview. The Pape stated that they went downstairs to the front door. The police arrived and knocked on the door, and Pelosi ran over and opened it. Pelosi grabbed onto the Pape's hammer, which was in the Pape's hand. At this point in the interview, the Pape repeated that the Pape did not plan to surrender and that he would go through Pelosi. The Pepe stated that he pulled the hammer away from Pelosi and swung the hammer towards Pelosi. The Pepe explained that Pelosi's actions resulted in Pelosi, quote, taking the punishment, end quote, instead. On October 29, 2022, law enforcement determined that the Pepe lived in the garage of a residence on Shasta Street in Richmond, California, by interviewing the owner of the premises who confirmed that DePape has resided in the garage for approximately 2 years. On October 29, 2022, law enforcement searched the garage at the Shasta Street residence pursuant to a federal search warrant. Among other things, agents seized two hammers, a sword, a pair of rubber and cloth gloves. Agents also found evidence that the Pape lived in the garage, including DMV paperwork, IRS letter, and PayPal credit card. In conclusion, the special agent said, based on the information above, there is probable cause to believe that David, the Pape, intentionally assaulted Paul Pelosi in violation of 18 U.S.C. Sections 115A1A and attempted to kidnap Speaker Nancy Pelosi in violation of Title 18 U.S.C. Section 1201D. Therefore, I respectfully request this court issue a criminal complaint and arrest warrant against the Pape. So there we have it, y'all. I don't know how he basically confessed. So I'm not understanding. Just plead and just move on. And the state court, it's not double jeopardy. I know a lot of people have asked that you can, under the same circumstances, have a case going on in state and federal court. So of course, the state of California is also bringing charges as well. And then I heard that he was like illegally here or something, and they were talking about deporting the Pape. I don't know how true that is, but I did hear that as well. Pretty much. This is horrible though. Like, how crazy is this? Can you imagine? Like, who wants to be even in this type of political like climate when they and people are really this deep? And then of course they went on his social media pages and saw some of the rhetoric that he talks on his social media page. But you literally just came trying to tie somebody up, waiting on Nancy Pelosi because you're gonna teach her a lesson. And you remember on the January 6th insurrection situation, they came in there. Where's Nancy? That's how all of them did because everybody's targeting her. Miss V said it almost sounds too weird to be true. And to just confess, like they told you have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, we will appoint one for you. You're like, no, I'm just gonna sit back and kick it with you and tell you exactly what it happened, how it happened, why I wanted to do it, and that I wanted to break her kneecaps so that she can know the consequence. Like, okay, so Jessica says yes, they say he's Canadian, could be deported. Who confesses they want to break someone's kneecap? Somebody that really feels like what they're doing and saying isn't wrong. There's really people that think. So Deborah says, I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. They say he came in from Canada and overstayed his visa. So yes, police. Yeah, he's out of here then. Because what happens is when you commit a crime, even if you're over here, you can lose green cards. But if you commit a crime, yeah, they and then you'll be banned from ever coming back over here again. That's how they do it. Yes, if you would like to donate, you can hit this is my cash app. Pam ESQ. Easy to remember. He said maybe he's trying to plead insanity. He sounded real clear giving those facts. He sounded quite coherent. Insanity is very difficult to plead. If anything, if he has a mental illness, they'll probably do guilty but mentally ill. And see the difference between guilty but mentally ill and insanity. They did the guilty but mentally ill developed from when President Reagan was shot. So the person that shot him was able to plead insanity. And what happens is when you plead insanity and you actually get off on insanity, then they take you to a psychiatric ward. And then once you're deemed sane, you get to get released. But if you're guilty but mentally ill, they change. They have a whole new plea that you can do, or a charge that you can do, or get convicted of. Um, then you go in as guilty but mentally ill. You plead to that, and some people have gotten that mixed up and thought they would get something reduced. Now that just means while you in jail doing your time, they have to give you psychiatric help, but you still have to do your time. Yes. Nope. Didn't shoot him. Saw him getting hit with a hammer, broke his skull. Nope, didn't not one bullet, not no taser. They said they just tackled him. I guess they felt they can handle a hammer. Mrs. Sandra said crazy is what crazy does. He's definitely crazy. Something isn't right for sure. He said, Alice said she went to Hinkney's pretrial when she was in high school. That's interesting. I actually knew when he got out where he was at, and it was supposed to be like a secret. But, Ms. V said, I don't trust politicians. This might be a made up narrative to get votes. You know what? At first, I was like, but see, it kind of can go both ways the way the climate is. Because I said that I'm like, I know they're going to say that he's somehow connected to Trump or the Republican rhetoric and all that. We all know that that's what they were going to say. But you do have Republicans that say there's no reason, there's no justification for coming in and doing what this man did, regardless to party lines. Like right is right and wrong is wrong. But they did look on his page and, of course, found some type of rhetoric or whatnot on his page. But I already knew that's how it would be swung with what you're saying. So the Republicans try to say, or I'm not even going to say the Republicans, 45 will probably say when he starts campaigning, I would assume that they're trying to blame this on trying to blame this on the Republicans. Like everything is for the Republicans. So they all are going to find ways to swing this. But there's no way that you can deny that this man was 80 something years old and got hit, house broken into. The easiest, it just sounds so easy how they broke into his house. Like nothing, no alarm trips. Okay, if you have cameras, if you don't have people that's there and you have cameras, doesn't like ADT the alarm trips when somebody breaks in your house? Did you not turn your alarm on? Do you have a panic button? Do you have anything? It seemed too easy and accessible for him to be the husband of Nancy Pelosi. That's just nuts. Okay, I'm sorry. You said it wasn't the same plan they had. Yeah, they did. For Whitmer and a couple of those people just got convicted a couple of weeks ago here. They were gonna tie her up and all of that craziness. I just don't even know what is it's just not that deep. How do you guys like you're that desperate to take over the House and the Senate. I don't understand. It just ain't that deep for me. You said you have to gotta set the alarm for the trip. They choose whether they want protection or not. Yeah, that's what I said, if it was on or not. Because that's usually automatic. Like, it's automatic for me. You walk in the house, you like, "Toot, toot, 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 toot." I mean, that's crazy. This whole complaint was just crazy. I think people have accurately summarized it in the articles, but to actually read it and see like what this man told police is just nuts. Just absolutely crazy. But her hubby does not get Secret Service protection. Nope, it's for everything is for Nancy Pelosi apparently. So, like I said, I had a friend who was married to a congressperson and they had security, but apparently it must have been, and I said I was gonna call her and ask her, but apparently it was just because that's what her husband wanted for her and they paid for it. Because it sounds like they're not doing it for spouses, but I'm definitely gonna double check and see. Hi, Melanie. Good to see you. And I'm glad that you're enjoying the replays. You said sound personal, like a scorn lover who knows your house and how to get in. You know what? Oh, jeez. You guys are making this plot real thick. So we're gonna pray for Paul, and I think he's still in the hospital, and we're gonna touch and agree that he's gonna be okay. And we'll get. I'm sure they'll get to the bottom of it, whatever it is. But yeah, remember her husband earlier this year, I believe it was earlier this year, like he got caught. Paul was like with a DUI or something. I believe so. I hope I'm not lying on this. But I believe he had a DUI earlier this year. He might have been passed out when it happened. Because I would have heard somebody breaking glasses and doors in my house. No, he actually broke a door according to the document. He broke the door with a hammer. But the crazy part is, does anybody watch American Greed? I watch American Greed. That's one of the things that I do watch every Tuesday night at 10 o'clock on MSNBC. And one of them was about these teenagers who watch on Instagram and Facebook. They watch how like these celebrities that show their houses and all of that. Crazy. They usually don't lock their doors. So they would see like where they are, and then they would do like a Google search and Google Maps. And it was 3, 4 teenagers that started it, but then they started adding their friends, like while they were in high school and continue when they were adults. So they like broke into Paris Hilton's home like 3, 4 times. They broke into all these people's houses, and they were like their keys were under the mat, like under the mat, under like flower pots, things that we know where people actually keep keys. And it was just crazy to me. They were going in with bags and just taking stuff out of their homes. And like I think with Paris Hilton, it was like she had so much stuff. I don't even think she knew that they were coming in over and over and breaking in her home. But and they would have video, but the video was all grimy, so they could never tell who it is. But these kids weren't even like covering her face or anything. They got a lot of celebrities. They hit a lot of celebrity homes. Yeah. I was just it was crazy. Oh my goodness, what just happened right here? You guys, I don't think anybody is saying that it's entertaining that an 82-year-old is to be a doctor unconscious. So I'm not sure what that comment is for. Yeah, they rob a little differently. Her hubby is Mr. Olympus 2022, 82, and able to hold off a hammerhead swung by a young thug. All right, y'all. Well, we're going to put Pelosi's to rest for right now. We will keep up with it. We'll probably see whenever we get the indictment from the state court and see if there's any new information and developments that come out. Maybe they'll air the hearing. That would be dope to see the actual hearing and the preliminary examination. So, if you guys are not aware, and I think, let me see, if you guys are not aware, on when was that? Where is she at in here when we watch this hearing? We're on to Bishop Whitehead, favorite topic. So we've been following the block, we call it the block that Bishop bought, that home over there in Connecticut. So what we did notice was that he has been repairing this building because as we talked just briefly in the former video, I don't know, go back and watch the replay if you have not. He actually is in court. One is for non-payment of the building, and another one was because they were trying. he hadn't paid the water bill. So both times we had a hearing that we went to. He had two hearings in one day about a month ago, and they were both trying to get receivers to come in and take the rent to cover. The mortgage company wasn't even trying to get receivers at that time to pay the back mortgage. The mortgage company was coming in because they were talking about the deficiencies and the fire hazard on the building. So, oh, it was November 3rd. Okay, so it was last Thursday. Okay, a couple days. Yes, we watched the hearing live. It was very, very interesting. So I'm just gonna give the little brief background. So at that date, Whitehead came in. He had an attorney to represent him when it comes to the mortgage issue. But when it came to the water company issue, they had a hearing in the afternoon. They wanted a receiver because he owed some thousands. It was under $10,000 at that time, I believe, from a water bill. So what Whitehead was saying was that the bill was attached to the building when he bought it. He didn't feel like the amount was an accurate or fair amount. So he and the person from the water company he was trying behind the scenes, I guess, to work out a deal. They couldn't work out a deal. So the judge basically said, well, I guess they changed the date to October 3rd to see if they can, I mean, I'm sorry, November 3rd, to see if they can come up with a deal with the water company. So the water company again came in and sued him for an outstanding bill, and they were trying to get receivership so they can collect the bill so that they can get their money back for the water. Y'all following me? We also have another case in Connecticut with the mortgage company where he has not paid the mortgage allegedly, according to their documents. I don't know if he has to date, but during that time he had not paid. And they also had a hearing because they were trying to get a receiver to go get the rent because there were code violations and they're trying to preserve the building. So when you guys have seen these Instagram posts, like the one I'm about to post, showing him being Whitehead, being there talking about they're working, he had a certain amount of days that the fire marshal gave him to bring this building up to code based on the fire code. So that's what it looks like he has been doing. So when you see those type of videos, he's like, we out here working. Everybody keep asking me about wood and fire escapes. Listen, I had never seen them either, but people told me that they have that in Connecticut. So yes, she has. I don't have the link. Let me see. So when you see stuff like this,
in the rain, y'all. Slowing down the rain, but we working. We are working, y'all. Working. Stairs complete. Whitehead Steaks, y'all. Coming all together.
okay. So this is him trying to essentially that was him trying to get the building up to code, which is why the mortgage company was trying to get a receiver to preserve their building. Now, the whole whether he paid the mortgage or not, that has not even come before the judge yet, as it pertains to payment, whatever's going on with that. So again, he had a certain amount of time because the fire marshal gave him an extension to get these stairs done. So they go back as Jessica said on the 13th. I know the 10th next week, and there's a hearing related to that. So anyway, let's get to the actual hearing that we watched. So on November 3rd, there was a hearing again. It was with the water company against Whitehead. So what they were trying to do now, the day before the hearing, the water company did a proposed order, basically asking the judge to grant their request to have a receiver come in and collect rent so he can pay this back water bill. So that's how I knew that they probably didn't come to an agreement. We get on, we're watching, and Whitehead comes on. He got his little Gucci outfit on. He's in the car. So as soon as he comes on, now mind you, the corporation owns this building. Whitehead does not own this building. He may be the sole manager and all of that stuff, but he does not. There's a corporation that owns the building, Whitehead Estates or whatever he calls it. Okay. So the last hearing, the judge told him, I'm allow you to come to this hearing as, oftentimes for the first hearing, I let the CEO or owner or president or whoever come in and have for the hearing. But under the law, the corporation has to have their own attorney. The judge was very clear on that last hearing. So come a couple of days ago, the hearing comes on. Whitehead shows up for this. He's in the car. It's on Zoom. So the judge is like, where's your lawyer? He's like, well, Judge, I forgot. He said, I've been mixing up my days because I have that other here. He's like, no, the judge like, no, 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 no. I wrote it down and I know specifically I told you that you cannot come on this hearing as the representative for your corporation. Your corporation needs their own attorney. That's the law. And I wrote it down. He's like, no, 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 I'm not saying that. You're absolutely right, Judge. You did tell me that, but I mixed the dates up on when each hearing was. Da, da, da. Okay, so did you guys come to some type of agreement? So this is the judge asking Whitehead, did you come to some type of agreement? He said, well, we've been talking back and forth about a proposed or a potential remedy or stipulation or agreement for the water bill, but we agree on one part, but we don't agree on another part. So the judge said, "Oh, okay." So he asked the guy for the attorney for the city and said for the water company and was like, do you guys have an agreement? He's like, no, we've talked. He's right. We talked back and forth. No, we don't have an agreement. So basically, I just want to move forward. Like he filed his order the day before for the judge to sign for him to get a receiver and be able to go get these rents to cover this water bill. So he said, well, right now I'm just gonna ask you, Judge, to pass the papers or whatever they call it. We won't call that here. I ain't know what they're talking about. But I'm assuming that means to go ahead and sign my order. So the judge said, well, I'm gonna go ahead and he's like, no, 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 Judge. Well, I have an attorney. He said the name of the attorney. The judge said he knew who the attorney was. He was well known. He said, I am very well aware who he is. And he said, well, I have an attorney, but he has court today and he can't be here. He's going to be in court all day till 5 o'clock. So he can't be here. So the judge was like, well, no, your date is today. Like he's going to have to come on here right now. So he said, can you just pass me, Judge? And he was like, I told you, you can't represent the company. So it's nothing that I can do with you. I told you basically to get you a lawyer, and your lawyer ain't came out here. So no, I can call other people before you, and put you down later, but no, I can't, move this away. He said, okay, okay. Well, what I'll do is basically, can I call my attorney and tell him that it's an emergency and that he needs to come on today? And then the judge was like, yeah, you can call him if you want to. Then he said, to the other guy, to the actual attorney, he said, can we just agree on what we talked about before? I'll just take, what you said before or whatever. And he was like, the attorney was like, I don't mind talking to you off of here, but I still want the judge basically to sign this order. So he said, I still want, like, we can talk later, but I still want the judge to sign this order. Like, that's cool. We can probably negotiate something later, but I want the order signed. So he said, okay. So then the judge said, okay, so you can stay on hold, basically, Mr. Bishop. And he was like, Bishop Whitehead. And he said, and then we'll come back to you after I do my matter. But that judge he was a little, he was very nice the last time, but this time he just seemed like, listen, I told you what you needed to do. All I can do for you is I can let you wait till I finish my docket. And I only got two people left, and one of them is gonna be short. One might be a little bit longer than the other one, but still, when that's done, that's done. So Then all of a sudden, we're on this and we're texting each other, and me and Jessica's like texting each other or whatever, or DMing each other, and all of a sudden the screen go out. We're like, "Is your screen out?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, so we missed the other half. So we couldn't even see when he came back if attorney came on, what the conclusion was. Like, did the judge just sign the paper or whatnot? So I told her, I said, well, we'll see the next day, which would have been yesterday, if an order was signed, which it was. So apparently, according to the order, Whitehead stipulated basically probably to what the city wanted in the first place. So they do have an order, and I'm going to show you guys what the order is. Yeah, the judge was like, listen. So this is the order that we have here on the screen, and it has, as you see, it's the Metropolitan District versus Whitehead Estates LLC. So I got the name right. That's the name of the corporation. And in theory, you're supposed to, you're supposed to have thank you, Roberta Moore, for the cash app. Thank you so much. And I'm glad that you're enjoying the content. And y'all, I'm gonna look in the comments in 1 minute after we go over this stipulation. So a stipulation basically is that something that myself, and the other side agreed on. So the plaintiff, the petitioner, and the respondent both agreed to this, and their signatures will be at the bottom, and then the judge will basically seal the stipulation as opposed to a judge just rendering an order. So it has the petitioner and the respondent hereby stipulate that judgment may enter in this case as follows. Judgment may enter in favor of the petitioner for the appointment of a receiver of rents to collect amounts due, including ongoing water consumption and related charges and collection costs to the petitioner from the respondent. However, the petitioner agrees to stay the collections actions of the receiver, provided that all payments and commitments are made as outlined below. So basically, what this attorney did for the Metropolitan District was he was like, nope, I would stipulate with you that the order be entered into where you can make a payment arrangement. But if you basically miss this payment arrangement, then the receiver will come in. So what he did was it's agreed that a receiver will come in and collect rent, but it's being stayed. So it's basically on pause, frozen, held off, allowing him to pay this off in this form of a payment arrangement that we'll see that Jessica was just talking about in the comments. So it says the balance due as of November 1st, 2022 from the respondent for water consumption and related charges is $11,334.89, which reflects consumption charges up to October 24th, 2022. The respondent is also responsible to pay court costs, marshal's fees, and reasonable attorney fees in the amount of $2,436.72. In the event of a default of the terms of this stipulation, the respondent will also be responsible for additional collection costs, fees, and or charges which may occur against the respondent, including but not limited to receiver costs and fees if a receiver is inactive. So basically, we're going to agree with you so that you can do this payment arrangement. But if you default or somehow lapse on this payment arrangement, then these payments are going to go up. So if any additional collection, like say the attorney has to go back to enforce them with the court, or if a receiver has to come in, then that I heard receivers are expensive too. That comes in and actually collects the rent on your behalf. He'll have to pay for the receiver expenses as well. So the petitioner agrees to accept the following payments in satisfaction of the above referenced debt of the respondent. $4,000 paid on or before November 25th of 2022. Equal installment payments in the amount of $2,000 due and payable on or before the 26th day of each month, commencing on December 26, 2022, and continue until the debt owed to the petitioner is satisfied in full, and payment of all current charges for water consumption and related charges as become due during the pendency of this payment plan. The aforementioned payment shall be made payable to MDC, has all of that information. And then it has respondent will immediately notify the law offices, both orally and in writing, of any legal action commenced against respondent, including but not limited to actions by other utility companies, banks, and lending institutions. I'm sure they're aware of like what's going on now with the actual building, or actions to collect past due taxes. The commencement of any action which may result in the appointment of another rent receiver will terminate the stay of collections by the receiver appointed on behalf of the petitioner, and the receiver may immediately begin collecting rent. Oh, wow. The commencement of any action which may result in the appointment of another rent receiver will terminate the stay of collections by the receiver appointed on behalf of the petitioner, and the receiver may immediately begin collecting rent. Wow. This is of the essence as to all of the above listed payments and commitments. Failure to make any of the payments. This is all in caps. I guess they want you to know this is very, very important. Time is of the essence as to all the above listed payments and commitments. Failure to make any of the payments when due will void the payment plan under this stipulation and will result in the immediate commencement of collection action by the receiver. Respondent has been advised of his rights to consult with legal counsel before entering to this stipulation, and was either consulted with counsel or waived its right to consult with counsel prior to entering to the stipulation. Respondent further acknowledges that the signer has the right and authority to sign the stipulation and does so as signer's own free act and deed, and the free act and deed of the respondent. So yeah, I don't see an attorney on here. So he did this. Looks like he signed this on his. So that's where we are when it comes to good job. And maybe he needs to sell some of the designer suits to make money to pay these bills. If you guys, you guys are so on one accord on that. Hey, cool child. Okay, so let's see. I think I have another complaint I'm gonna go over while we're at it. I'm not just mm, speaking of the apartments. So there was another lawsuit filed, and I didn't go over this a couple of weeks ago when we first were talking about it. And this is they did a motion for summary judgment in lieu of a complaint. So let's and I believe that his attorney has removed this to federal court because people have sent it to me. But yeah, so it says this is a proceeding to recover an unsecured commercial debt as fully set forth herein. Plaintiff is entitled to judgment because it has established its prima facie case through production of the promissory note containing an unconditional promise to pay and proof of borrowers failed to do so. CPLR 3213 was enacted to provide expedited relief on non-payment so presumptively meritorious as to render a formal complaint superfluous and the delay in waiting for a defendant to answer before moving for summary judgment. This is precisely the situation here. As such, plaintiff is entitled to the judgment against the borrower. On or about December 1st, 2021, borrowers and plaintiff entered into a loan for the original principal amount of 250K, which is evidenced by the promissory note. All of that is attached. The loan which borrower obtained for commercial purposes was given in connection with borrower's renovation of certain properties located where? In Hartford, Connecticut. Pursuant to the note, borrower unconditionally agreed to full repayment of the loan plus interest on or about December 1st, 2023 is the maturity date, with interest occurring at 8% per annum Borrower will also agree to one, use any and all available money from their ownership of the properties to pay down the accrued interest and principal of the loan. Two, not to make any distributions to equity holder, including borrowers, until all obligations under the loan were paid in full. And three, promptly provide plaintiff with operating statements upon request. The loan would be in default if an event of default occurred. The note defines an event of default as borrower's failure to either one, pay on or before the date due any amount payable under the note. Two, perform or observe any other term or provision of the note with respect to payments. Or three, perform or observe any other term or provision of the note. Y'all okay over here? All right. As long as y'all all right. I'm not gonna read this off. But according to this document, it's a 250,000 loan that was also taken out on a Connecticut building. And apparently it looks like they're saying it's in default. Now, again, I believe this was moved to federal court, so I may have to pull those documents as it moves along. But anyway, I go a little bit further. If borrower failed to make any payment of interest on or before the due date of such payment, the note entitles plaintiff to collect a one-time late charge equal to 10% of such overdue payment. The note also obligates borrower to pay all costs incurred and reasonable attorney fees, fee for legal services, and the collection efforts, whether or not suit be brought if the loan is referred to an attorney for collection. By letter dated August 10th, 2022, plaintiff through its attorney sent borrower a letter demanding operating statements for the properties running from December 1st, 2021 through the date of the letter, no later than August 24th. Borrower did not provide the operating statement. So it looks like they asked for some paperwork, which is in the contract that he has to provide, which are the operating statements, and he did not do that according to this. And they have affidavits from various people that are attached to this document. Borrower's failure to provide the operating statements constituted a default. So they're saying because he did not provide these documents as he's defaulted according to their contract. On September 2nd, 2022, plaintiff through its attorney sent borrower a letter advising that the loan was in default because borrower, amongst other things, one, failed to provide plaintiff operating statements upon plaintiff's request, and two, failed to apply any and all available cash in connection with the property to pay down the accrued interest and principal of the loan, and three, distributed revenue to equity holders prior to fulfilling all obligations of the loan. There's another affidavit. The letter also advised borrower that plaintiff had elected to accelerate the maturity date of the loan and demanded borrower's payment of all amounts due under the note no later than September 16th, 2022. Borrower failed to make the required payment. As of September 16th, 2022, the amount due under the loan was $265,888.89, inclusive of unpaid interest. So I'm not clear on whether he was paying his monthly payments or what that was, but it sounds like they wanted him to operating agreement and they consider that a default. And he didn't turn that in according to his documents. But we're going to watch it play out because he does have an attorney. And also, whatever equity interest or whatever that cash he was supposed to put towards the debt. So now we have the arguments and all this good case law and why summary judgment should be appropriate. So they say in the follow amounts are presently due and owing to plaintiff on account of borrower's default under plaintiff's subsequent acceleration of the note. Unpaid principal 250, previously accrued interest 15,888. That interest is out. Whoa. One time late fee of 10% of past due interest of 1588.89 and reasonable attorney fees of $15,671.50. And then they put in the footnote plaintiff reserves the right to supplement increase its demand for cost of reasonable fees. They like this is how much it is at the time of this filing, but we may have to up this. And there we have it. How do this man keep getting money? I mean, he got this before all of this. I don't know. I'm sure he had to show something before they gave him these loans. I'm definitely not a real estate. Like I said, back in the day, I've done foreclosures, but yeah, thank you so much, Cynthia Hendricks, for the cash app. I appreciate you. May God bless you hundredfold. Well, a thousandfold in Deuteronomy. So we gonna increase that hundredfold. That's the church folks that be stopping it. So this one in Deuteronomy, that's a thousand. So anyway, I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not a real like I said, I'm not a real estate type of person. I've done foreclosures back in the day when the housing, big housing market crash or whatnot was booming with the foreclosures because ours is a little bit different here. So if they don't follow all of the proper protocol, you can get their foreclosures thrown out. So oftentimes they just want to settle with you. So I was helping a lot of people back then. I just knew just enough for me to make it and still sound smart. So I never really got into real estate like that. I don't know. That's a good question. Very good. I don't know if I could put you guys' comments on the screen. Oh, y'all tripping at me. Like, I'm scared to put stuff on here. You know what? I'm not with you guys. So that's the updates on the building. I did know about the this loan that he had for repairs, allegedly, according to this document. And just us reading it, that was my first time really reading it for the first time, and it looks like it was just a breach of not giving some operating agreement and maybe so I don't think it says specifically, maybe if I read it a little closer, specifically that payments were supposed to be made and they weren't. I don't see that in this document. But again, it has been removed to federal court, so the fact of the matter, he was never vetted before becoming a bishop. All of this should have been seen prior to consecration. Well, times have changed, and some people, the crazy part is, I've heard some people, Paul Morton was probably one of the first ones that actually started his own fellowship. And he actually flourished. Full gospel has done well. He has some great people under him. But I think he kind of set the precedent of people starting their own fellowships, denominations, whatever you want to call them. And the biggest thing, because I had somebody to ask me about being in their fellowship. I'm like, dude, you just started last week. Like, you just put your operating agreement together. But I think the thing is, they try to oftentimes just try to get who they can to come in. I don't know anything about nothing outside of like AME, Kojic, United Methodist, and they do it in a whole different fashion. And they're supposed to be like a lineage. Typically, you can tell who ordained you, who ordained them. There's a whole lineage of bishop consecration. That's how I was raised with my father's family. So all of this, where they start their own stuff and then they get people that go up under them and all of that. Yes. Next hearing is November 10th at 3 o'clock. It's in. Did you want to put It's in Connecticut. She always sent me the link too. So, but it was a few little people that was on there the last time, and she was like, "I bet you they all here for Bishop Whitehead." It probably was because a lot of them were like motions to withdraw, which are very basic, like for attorneys that want to get out of cases. They weren't even really big cases that he had. It was just water company cases, and those people didn't show up. Only person I think they had like 4 cases, and only Whitehead showed up on his case. and the other three didn't. Then it was a couple where they were trying to they were trying to withdraw as attorneys. There was a breakdown of their attorney client. So that was that. And then it was one big hearing where it was like multiple plaintiffs and defendants, but we got kicked off, so we didn't see it. And then once that couldn't have been that long because immediately after that they put the Whitehead Estates case on, but we couldn't see it. They just put it up there, but they said they have technical difficulties oftentimes at that court. Yep, you sure can. Inbox me or DM me. It's a new church. Yes, I know. Paul Morton was in coaching for years, so he comes from good stock. But we are, and he's done well with full gospel, but I think it kind of set some people believe that's what set the precedent of we don't have to be a part of these big organizations. We can just tweak it a little bit and come up with our own. So now you have all these people that are doing their own fellowships, and then you can become bishop under them. And I had somebody who's just like, basically, what you want to be? You want to be an elder, apostle, or then I'm like, you don't even know if I know Jesus for real. You don't even know if I'm saved. Like, how do you really just you just gonna give it to me like that? It was the weirdest thing, but they had just started a fellowship, so they was looking for people. Yes, if anybody wants to inbox me or me, all right. But you guys are all on one accord about this whole Shelley said I don't like the new math either. Is there anything else you guys want to discuss? Oh my gosh, this thing like me looking all angelic. My hair is a whole entire mess. But we're gonna get it together by the next live, hopefully. She got the whole link in this joint. Okay, y'all see this is the link. It comes on YouTube. But again, they do say they have a lot of technical difficulties. But we were doing so good. We was like, did this just cut off? We were like refreshing it and refreshing it. So we did miss half of it. So I'm going to assume, based on that stipulation, that they just came up with some agreement. But the dude was like, nope, I'm gonna still need that receiver. Just in case you don't pay, I need that receiver to be able to immediately come in without me having to do too much more work. Who got upcoming lawsuit? Kanye West? I have one Kanye West lawsuit of somebody suing him in Florida. But you have to tell me, Miss Renee, which lawsuit you're talking about. You just make sure you donate to the platform if you hit the live. You hit that, anybody hit the Mega Millions, I believe God will bless you even more if you donate to the platform. Oh, donate to me personally. It's what, like at $1 billion or something crazy. No, it really is a page. Let me show you guys on my phone. Let me see. My phone about to die. So you guys know what to look for. Oh, you're saying it doesn't have any videos? Is that what you're saying? It's not going to have videos on it and that's why I don't stream it either. Because you're not supposed to record. I believe if you're a channel where you get the coding to put into your video, like they approve you, then you can stream it while it's on there and it directly comes from the court. but you're not supposed to record, take pictures, or anything. So they don't leave them up on YouTube. Literally, you can only watch it while it's live. That's how it is here in Michigan as well. You can only watch it while it's live, but you're not supposed to record it, take pictures, or any of that. That's why I've never like streamed it while it was happening. Otherwise, I would have just streamed it on here. But I'm like, they ain't coming after me talking about I don't record it and it's still up and I'm trying to get some money. Mm-mm. Thank you. So yeah, that's why it doesn't have any video. But that is, it's hard for courtroom 14. And so you click on it on the day of the hearing and it'll tell you like waiting on the next case or something. And then as soon as all the people come on Zoom, then it comes up. But all right, guys, thank you for hanging out with me. I missed each and every one of you guys and I enjoyed myself. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. So those are updates we're going to keep up with. If you guys just joined us in the beginning, we talked about Paul Pelosi and we went over the request for a criminal complaint and arrest warrant as to the Pape who is accused of brutal beating and assaulting Paul Pelosi. That was a pretty interesting complaint. I don't think that I think the news has talked about it as much as they could, but there was way more details in there than what we have heard. So now we were able to see why they were able to get the arrest warrant and what the Pepe had. We also went over the hearing that we were able to watch on the third as it pertains to Whitehead. So that's what we just got to talking about. And has the bishop been going live lately? Haven't seen him anyway anywhere. Yeah, he actually had something on there where he called out what's that mean? Um Dr. Rashad Ritchie. Did you guys see that one? So Dr. Rashad Ritchie, he has his own stand with it. Wait 1 second. That ain't help. Goodness. Where that's coming. Um, all right. I know I've been shining off through the whole thing, and just know that. So anyway, Rashad Ritchie, a lot of people, I guess he must have covered Whitehead. Whitehead didn't like it, so he posted and said, "It's people like him that slanders black men name, then try to act like he stands for the black man. You slandered my name. Now let's have a conversation about it." So he called him out, I guess, saying that he slandered his name. And he what he did was so what he did, Rashad Ritchie on his page had a picture and a post, and um, it said corrupt and powerful people don't scare me. What's scary are the cowards who won't stand up to them. That was Rashad Ritchie's post. So Whitehead screenshot where he commented under Richie's post and said, "No, what scares me is people like you. You slandered my name. The you want to act like you are pro-black. We need to have a conversation about the lies you stated about me. Let's start there. My door is open." So he kind of added him. So I'm assuming he wants to, and it just seems so random. Because I'm believing he's talking about, remember, maybe a month ago or something when he talked about Whitehead. I mean, I don't even think it's nothing recent. Then he had another one where he did the thing about Takeoff. When Takeoff was killed, he did a thing saying, "Rest in peace, Takeoff, words of wisdom for our community." But he used that also to talk about another person, I guess, who, let me see. Um, this is why we don't respect everybody. He talked about 94. I don't even know that lady's name. I guess she's supposed to be a every other day we shoot at each other. My brother that was throwing me and every other community helps themselves except for somebody and kill somebody from you first. I can't find it. But anyway, he was talking about another radio personality, I guess, that he says talked about him as well. And so I, yeah, so yeah, he's still been around to answer your question. Did you hear the Mrs. claim to be Portuguese on the no, I have not heard that. Is that like saying I got a little bit of Indian in me? You know how we all say, I got good hair, 10% native. Well, we say Indian. We should say Native American. Y'all forgive me. But saying I got Native American. You know what? I think it's just, Richie has a decent platform. So it may have just been got a little quiet around here. There's been a couple of things that have occurred and probably didn't blow up the way you may have wanted it to blow up. So it's another way to keep your name out there. How Pam, do you think that the people working on the building will get paid the same? I don't know. I hope so. I didn't even see who he had working on the building. It looked like I didn't see who was working on it, but he has put up the stairs and stuff because we had the pictures where there weren't any. So we do know that he's actually been working on the building. We know that for sure. He said he getting it together. They ain't about to be talking about ain't no fire escape. He go on November 10th. So yeah, he has been working. I have to give him that. He is putting the stairs together on the building. He said he's trying to stay relevant. He doesn't want a conversation with Dr. Richie. He's forced to be working with Whitehead. Somebody in the comments said that Richie offered to have him come on the show. I don't know how true it was, but it probably was back when he did the video. Because this is like, unless he did something recent that I missed, he did a video a while ago about Whitehead. Richie was talking about the Anderson case along with Robert, so he was telling the truth. But how long ago was that, Jeff? Like, was this something recent? I, and I'm jumping on the big pillow before I take what it said. No one is thinking about him. That's why he's trying to drop things. Dang, this ghetto. I still got the wrong little tag up under here. I went to my parents' house. I just left Chicago and I went to my parents' house and I stole this mug. So this is what I get. I was like, oh, I like this. And I just like put it in my purse. Richie, as in Dr. Rashad Richie. Yes, Dr. Rashad Richie. I probably should have put a handle on his name too. Yeah, and then he tagged like, everybody and their mama. He tagged at Rashad Richie, The Shade Room, TMZ, Freddie, Yo Art, CNN, BT, 947 The Block, Hot 97, Power 1051, NBC, ABC News, Fox News, CBS News, On TV, Tyler Perry, Rich Forever, AJ Calloway, Fat Joe, Papoose, 50 Foreign, Don M. Florio, I think that's the attorney, 50 Cent, World Star, and My Fabulous Life. So fabulous. That's who he tagged in that group. Just a little sparkling, a little strong apple cider. Yeah, but I did. I'm like, dang, is that a tag I see on this thing? Yeah, I did. I took this from my parents. I was there the first part of the week, and then I had to get back for some hearings and stuff. So I got back Tuesday, Tuesday or Wednesday. But yeah, I took a lot of their stuff. And this was one of my prizes, and it still has tags at the bottom. So I was looking all ghetto while I'm on my life. It had he got the holidays coming up. He get ready for it. Yes, the turkey. Didn't he say he feed like 200 families? Hi, Marcus. Thank you so much for stopping by, and make sure that you catch the replay. If you guys have not done so already, please like and please share. And I know you guys in the comments are subscribed because I have it on subscribers only. So you have to be subscribed because some of y'all just sneaking in trying to, date me. It's time to make a commitment here. Subscribe to the channel. We're growing and we're moving. And yeah, I enjoy myself. Thank you again to every single one of you guys that donated and gave me cash ups. I really appreciate it. Because you guys didn't have to do it, but I'm so glad that you. So Tawana, thank you so much. Miss Renee, thank you so much, Roberta, and thank you so much, Cynthia. Again, I appreciate you so much. If you win that type of money, I will pro hoc VJ. I have friends that practice all over the United States. I will pro hoc VJ and be your attorney. Okay, you ain't got to worry about that. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you out there like that. I guess I'm the only one don't really be caring. Sorry. I won't read the cash apps anymore. I just want to let you guys know that I'm grateful. That's all. Okay, so Jessica said this is about the stairs. I looked it up a tiny bit, and I believe the wooden stairs qualify as means of egress as opposed to fire escape. Somebody told me, I can't remember who, but they said they have wooden fire escapes in Connecticut. Because I was like, I had never seen it before. And so when they said that, I just took their word for it. I was like, oh, okay. I haven't been to Connecticut before. Okay. Well, all right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I love each and every one of you. You guys be safe. I'm going to finish celebrating my baby girl's birthday. She should be all caked out. I've given her so cupcakes. I'm like, eat it all. Eat it all. Just eat the icing. Eat the icing off the package. I don't care. I don't have it. I just don't even have the strength anymore. I just don't even have it. My kids are like, you're just so nice. You didn't do us like that. You don't, I mean, like, goodness, she just does what she wants to do. I'm like, listen, I had way more stamina back then when I was in my 20s with y'all. It's different now. I go to bed early, you know. I gotta take a nap in the middle of the day. That's why I always work for myself because I was like, "Do you take naps in this law firm?" I had one law firm where they let you take naps. If you ain't gonna let me take no nap, then I can't work here. So listen, that's why I wake up in the morning. My daughter is so smart. Like she just knows if she's quiet, nobody bothers her. So we'll be asleep, and I wake up at 3 in the morning or something, and she's still on her iPad on YouTube. So yeah, she's not gonna move regardless. She's like, if I move, then I'm gonna get in trouble. They're gonna make me go to bed. So I will definitely tell her you said happy birthday. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Subscribe, like, and please share. And I will holler at you guys for the next go round.